As the presidential election inches closer, Kentucky's top elections official is concerned about how the state will handle a large turnout.
WDRB's Dalton Godby found out that more volunteers and polling locations are needed.
Kentucky Secretary of State Michael Adams is very aware of the challenges that come along with a presidential election.
The biggest concern that I have is just having enough locations and enough poll workers.
Adams says Kentucky's voter turnout for the 2024 general election could be around a record-breaking 60%.
And so you're looking at potentially 2 million voters. It's awful hard to squeeze them in and out in one 12-hour span on a Tuesday.
To ensure a smooth election day, Adams says Kentucky needs more poll workers and more voting locations.
House Resolution number 2.
Adams is asking the legislature for more resources to recruit volunteers, incentivize locations, and expand early voting opportunities.
Most of our poll workers are senior citizens, and they're aging out. And so the only way we're going to have more access for voters on election day is to have more volunteers.
Adams expects things to run smoothly for the May primary, which is expected to bring between 25 and 30% of voters out. The concern is much bigger for November's general election.
I'm not really losing a lot of sleep over May. It's November we have to prepare for.
While preparing for November, other obstacles have come up in the form of dozens of election-related bills filed in the General Assembly. Adams is opposed to most changes, especially those which would eliminate early voting.
That's not a good idea, I think, in any scenario. But my goodness, going into a presidential election when our turnout typically is about 50% higher than it is in a Senate election or a governor election, that would be a huge mistake, huge mistake.
To ensure a successful election in November, Adams is hopeful the legislature will step up.
So we've got to have more utilization of early voting, but we also have to have more voting locations on Election Day.
With photojournalist Chad Kentlener, Dalton Godby, WDRB News.